What's up, guys? So Chapter 6 of the Book of Boba Fett was wild, and I'm sure I don't have to tell you that, but one very crazy thing happened, and it was an Order 66 flashback. And it reminded a lot of fans that Grogu was there at the Jedi Temple on Coruscant during Order 66, and we don't know how he survived, who saved him, or what he's been doing for all these years. So I'm going to talk about all of it right now. So in Mando Season 2, when Ahsoka tells us all that Grogu was at the Jedi Temple during Order 66 and was trained at the Jedi Temple, we were all like, what? What is going on? And how was Grogu saved? Who saved Grogu? And what has he been doing for all these years? I mean, what? He didn't want to help Luke fight the Emperor and Darth Vader? Just kidding. He's literally a child. He's a child. But it still leaves the question, who saved him from the Jedi Temple? Who did it? We know it wasn't Yoda. He wasn't there with him on Dagobah. We know it wasn't Obi-Wan. He wasn't there with him on Tatooine. Who saved him? So all these crazy theories have been running around for over a year now on who saved Grogu from the Jedi Temple during Order 66. And with this last episode of Book of Boba Fett, all these fans are just reminded, who saved Grogu from the Jedi Temple during Order 66? Who did it? And all these crazy theories have a bunch of random people saving him, but I've narrowed it down to only two likely possibilities. I mean, I could be wrong, but it's when you listen to me talk about these two likely possibilities, you'll be like, oh, okay, so it's got to be one of those two, right? So my first one is Emperor Palpatine. So if you think about it, during Revenge of the Sith, you actually see Darth Vader bowing before Emperor Palpatine at the Jedi Temple. Those security cams are at the Jedi Temple, not in Palpatine's office. It's at the Jedi Temple. So Palpatine is confirmed to be at the Jedi Temple at the time of Order 66. Why would he be there? Why would he come all the way down to just tell Vader what to do next? He wouldn't do that. He's there for a reason, and that reason has to be Grogu. Also, if you look at the Order 66 flashback itself, there are 3 Jedis protecting Grogu. They all die, and the clones continue to walk forwards at Grogu, not killing him. Even though seeing that he is a youngling, they do not kill him. And it looks as though these clone troopers are just walking towards Grogu to pick him up and bring him over to Palpatine, saying, "Here, my lord, the present you've been waiting for." Also, you have to remember that Palpatine was on Coruscant all the time with all the Jedi. So the fact that he wouldn't know that there's a young-looking Yoda character at the Jedi Temple is very unlikely. So he knows that that's there, and obviously Palpatine's one goal through mostly all of Star Wars is cloning, and we see that in Mando Season 1, that the Empire's remnants really want Grogu for some cloning stuff, and we don't know really what it is. We don't know who they're trying to clone. We don't know what they're trying to clone, but we can infer watching the sequels that it is Palpatine that they are trying to bring back using Grogu's blood. That is what pretty much the plot of Mando Season 1 is. So if that is the case, then why wouldn't Palpatine take Grogu from the Jedi Temple and use his blood from right after Order 66? Also, this is not the first time that Palpatine has been trying to take younglings, or literally infants, that have Force abilities. In the Clone Wars, there is a side mission with Cad Bane who takes these babies who have Force abilities from birth and take them to Mustafar, where Palpatine hired Cad Bane to take them there. And this is a whole thing for Palpatine. He's already done it. He's already done this, where he's trying to get these younglings and trying to bring them all together and just take all their blood, pretty much. This is his whole goal. He wants to clone. He wants to live forever. Palpatine's one goal, live forever. He killed Plagueis because he wanted to live forever. He made Darth Vader's suit so that he could electrocute him without Darth Vader being able to fight back, because he wants to live forever. He does not want Vader to turn on him. He wants to live forever. The last thing with Palpatine is it would make him a lot better bad guy. I mean, recently in the past we've seen Palps in the sequels, and not a lot of people like Palps looking like that, so it would bring him back and redeem Palpatine for a lot of fans, I would think, as we've redeemed Luke Skywalker in this last episode. It's a lot of redeeming John and Dave are doing here, but I think Palpatine's their next goal. But then you have to think about Grogu. Grogu has been cut off from the Force and or just forgetting about his training for years and years and years, and Palpatine doing tests on him and draining his blood and doing all this crazy stuff to Grogu would maybe make him forget. Or maybe Grogu's trying to stop him from doing any more tests on him because he doesn't have the Force in him anymore. Maybe Grogu is so smart that he is just like, Palpatine, you can't touch this. Can't touch this, right? Grogu is smart. Grogu is of Yoda's species. He's smart enough to cut himself off from the Force for Palpatine to stop doing tests on him, right? Now my second option, and this one might be a mind blower for you, but as I go on, you might say, oh, hey, hang on a second, that might work. And yes, that second option is Mace Windu. I know, right? It's pretty wild, and it sounds really far-fetched, but once you listen to the possible facts behind it, it could be insane. Mace Windu, we know how he dies. He flies out the window in Revenge of the Sith after Anakin chops off his arm and he gets electrocuted by Palpatine. Now everybody knows it, everybody's seen the theory. He's still alive when he falls because you hear him go, ugh, as he flies out the window. Let's say he survives that fall, just for fun. Let's say he survived that fall, because many people in Star Wars have survived that fall. Maul was chopped in half and survived that fall. Palpatine was electrocuted and survived that fall. It's almost the same thing, but it's happened many times in Star Wars where that fall is not that far. And he could have just landed on any little ship flying by. It's not that far-fetched to say he survived that fall. Now, who was Mace Windu closest with? Master Yoda. So he would know if Yoda had a kid, and even if it wasn't Yoda's kid, and it was just Grogu, and he was just a species of Yoda, even though Yoda and Yaddle are the only two other Yoda species that we've ever seen. So it's most likely Yoda's kid. If we're being honest, Grogu's most likely Yoda's kid, right? Even still, Mace Windu would definitely know about him. So being all broken up and disheveled and arm chopped off and not knowing what to do, he would go to the Jedi Temple to save as many people as possible. And he gets there and almost everybody's dead, but Grogu is there and he can save Grogu. So let's say he saves Grogu. Not that far-fetched. Mace Windu's very powerful. He could take out a couple clones and take Grogu by himself. But let's say he goes off into the middle of nowhere. Some planet in the outer rim, just who knows where. Anywhere. Could be anywhere. But he has to go into hiding. Like Yoda and like Obi-Wan, you have to go into hiding if you're a Jedi. You'll be caught if you aren't. So he cuts himself off from the Force, and he tells Grogu to do the same. And this is why Grogu forgets everything. This is why Grogu can't remember anything. And this is why when Luke Skywalker is training Grogu, he's just saying he's just remembering. He's already been trained. He's just remembering what to do, because for so many years, he has just cut himself off. Now bringing Mace back, let's talk about what that does for the Mandalorian timeline here. We have Boba Fett back, and we know that Mace Windu chopped off Boba Fett's dad's head in Attack of the Clones, so I'm sure Boba is holding a grudge about that, and we've seen through the Clone Wars that he tries to kill Mace Windu many times. So a Mace Windu versus Boba Fett scene would be pretty epic. I mean, talk about fan service. All people talk about is fan service. Luke Skywalker coming back is fan service. Let me tell you something. Luke Skywalker is the main character in Star Wars. The main character. So you're telling me that 5 years after Return of the Jedi, when this main character is 30 and starting a Jedi Temple, main character Luke Skywalker, it's fan service for him to show up in that timeline? People, you've lost your mind. You've lost your absolute minds. How? How is that fan service? How is Luke Skywalker showing up on screen during the time of Luke Skywalker's reign? Fan service. You guys are crazy. You guys are absolutely crazy. And talk about Cad Bane being fan service. Cad Bane, biggest rival to Boba Fett. So if Boba Fett shows up, you know Cad Bane's going to be right behind him. Right behind him. That's not fan service. That's just writing. That's just great writing. That's just Star Wars. It's one galaxy. It's not that big a galaxy. If you have a rival in Cad Bane and Boba Fett, they're going to find each other. So Mace Windu coming back, although far-fetched, is not fan service either. If he survives that fall and saves Grogu, him versus Boba is not fan service. That is not fan service at all. That is the story and poetry, as George Lucas would say, of Star Wars. It's not fan service. It's the story of Star Wars. It rhymes. It's like poetry. That's why this stuff's so good. That's why Star Wars is so good. That's why I'm here speaking in front of you, and why Star Wars is so good. None of it's fan service. None of it's fan service. It's just further developing these characters because they exist in this timeline, in this galaxy. And they are main characters. Luke Skywalker's your main character of Star Wars. You could argue that Anakin is, but at this point, Luke has more movies. Luke has more appearances. Luke Skywalker's your main character in Star Wars, so it's definitely not fan service to bring back Luke Skywalker. Or Mace Windu. So tell me what you think in the comments. Do you think it could be Palpatine? Do you think it could be Mace Windu? Or do you think that it could be somebody else? Tell me in the comments below. I would love to talk to you guys about it because, oh my goodness, it's going to be so good when we actually find out who saved Grogu from the Jedi Temple. And I do think that it could actually happen in this last episode of the Book of Boba Fett. Who knows? Maybe Mando Season 3, but hopefully this next episode. Smash like if you like this video, hit subscribe and hit that bell so you don't miss out on any of my videos throughout the week, because we'll be breaking down all these Boba Fett episodes, and especially when we do find out who saved him from the Jedi Temple, we will be breaking that down too. But until then, may the Force be with you always.